excellent hunter.
You guys are the best. You know, I'm not the first to say that you can't have too many rage songs. And that's still true. Always will be.
Alright, so where did that Ash Bill? So I'm checking out something. I'm gonna check out some Deep Archimedean. I'm gonna see what's available in Deep Archimedia today. And I'm gonna check out a build that's able to resist Deep Archimedia. Depending on who it is at the Sanctum for this week. That's what I'm doing. But if I can't do it, I'm going to do an Eidolon and an Archon. But today's test, depending on who is available for Deep Archimedia. Let's see. Who? Let's see. Daga, Zephyr, Frost. Frost is, let's see. Zephyr is good at making sure enemies stay at bay with his wind to push them away, but that doesn't get every single enemy. Globe is only good to slow enemies down for a period of time. So the best way to use Frost is to use his fourth ability just to freeze everyone. But you would have to have like a 280 range in order to do that. So let's see. Problem with 280 range Frost. What's that? Invisible crowd control. Okay. Problem with 280 Frost is it requires you to use overextended, which lowers your power strength, which sucks. Let's see where we are right now. 235. Should get me to about 250. To about that range. 250. Maybe I should keep it at 250. Or if I'm going to go blind rage, I must get returns. It doesn't make sense, man. As much as I want to do overextended, I know what that means. It means his fourth ability. Reduce an enemy's armor is 97%. See, how about now? Reduce an enemy's armor is 133. Look at that. Like, come on. Shouldn't be using overextended with this dude. You're limiting yourself. Transient fortitude. See how much armor reduction do I get. Am I seeing that correctly? 160. What's that? 155? Oh, 166. Yeah, that's 166. That's amazing. I think that's the best I could get it. I mean, if I truly am going to use Blind Rage, I need some type of... Maybe if I throw in Streamline. Flow. The amount of energy that would require to do it, 125, that's bad. Very bad. Duration is shit. 95 is alright. Fucking A, man. Can't lower the range though. Blows. Compensate for duration period. I am curious if I use Ignis Wraith heat with the frost fire, will the enemies explode? That's typically what happens to when you mix fire and ice together. Or hot and cold together, there's an explosion. Don't know if it'll work, but maybe corrosive and nah, I think I'll go with this anyway. Multiplier 4 times multiplier. Not exactly great. Thinking 7 times multiplier with viral and heat. Less damage but more multiplier. Seems to be, and of course, multi-shot does more. Let's see how this works. But these enemies hit pretty hard, so you want like instantaneous kills. So it's like you're just trying to blow them away in one shot. What is that weapon? Fires pretty fast. I think I gave away the ribbon for it. I'm gonna need more firing rate. Alright, so let's see here. What does it require? The weapon is a lock.
We are alone. We must conquer or
Volcar.
we must die. If we fail,
Steathless.
we fail life itself. Should we succeed,
It's hard to play Deep Archimedean. When would you shut the hell up? It's hard. It's hard to play Deep Archimedean when the whole point of the keep saying the wrong thing. Deep Archimedia is to test out your skills and your capabilities using a whole lot of random weapons that you don't care about and using random warframes. It feels like it's kind of forced rather than you choosing what weapons best for the situation for you to survive. It gives you random stuff to use. And it figures, well, we're gonna pick a bunch of random stuff that you don't like, and maybe one out of those random stuff is going to be good. But it's more than likely like none are going to be good. For instance, a kit gun, Neil, or Comac. I don't use Comac, I don't use the Neil, and I don't use this kit gun. Now let's look at the weapons. Melee weapon. Hirodo. Endura. I mean, you see, no one uses Endura. When's the last time you see anyone playing a build using an Endura? I mean, the Hirodo is probably like the only one that someone uses over and over again. Same here. Like, who uses Volcar or the airlock? So this, I don't even feel like playing this, man. Like, it's like it's trying to force you to use weapons you don't want to use, or you force Warframe players to use weapons they hate using if they want the reward. Screw that, man. I'm not playing shit I don't like to use just because I want to increase something. That sucks. All the weapons sucks. The melee weapon sucks. The secondary weapon sucks. The primary weapon sucks. It feels like this feels like I'm going straight to PlayStation Plus. This feels like a PlayStation Plus decision, not like a Digital Extreme decision. PlayStation Plus basically says, you know, we're going to give you 3 free games each month, but all of them are going to suck equally, and maybe every 3 months we're going to give you a good one. So after 3 months of sucky games, the 4th month they're going to actually give you a good game. Like they gave you Bloodborne, and then they gave you another good game 3 months after that, and then another good game 3 months after that one. Like if I look on the PlayStation Plus store right now, they're all sucky games, or they're average mid games at best that no one is playing. And then every now and again they'll throw in a good one. That's what this is. This is the people from Digital Extreme want you to play these shit weapons that you don't want to play at all. For reasons why? Because everything is randomized. But wouldn't you think if you're going to give people random weapons that they shouldn't be completely random? Because if they're completely random, you could go and play a game an entire week, because this is for this week. You could have to wait an entire week of nothing but shit weapons, and then you have to wait for an entire week for them to at least throw in at least one that's good. I don't know, man. Like, how much format did I put into Hiroto? And how much format did I put into the Neo? And into the Alok or Volcar? Let me see. This will tell you what I think of those weapons. So the Volcar Wraith has 4. Okay. 4 forma. Neil. The freaking Neil don't even have a former on it. That's how sucky it is. Fine. What was the what was the melee one? Endura and Hiruda. Endura and Hiruda. First Hiruda. Well, look at that shit. There's no Hiruda. Apparently I had Hiruda before, but then I got rid of it. I wonder why. Let's see. Did I get rid of Endura? I don't even have Endura either. Oh, maybe it's based on form account name. I am spelling it right, Endura. I'm pretty sure 100% I build those weapons. I'm positive I build the Endura and Hiruda. In fact, I remember using the Hiruda. Several times I used the Hiruda in missions. What the hell's going on? Let's manually look for it. What the hell's going on? I put Endura in here and it doesn't pop up. But it's right here. One forma. What about Hirudo? I put Hirudo in there. I'm not gonna even question it. Okay, so the Hirudo is probably the best, but you have to get close to enemies. And what was secondaries? Freaking Neo and the Comac and a kit gun. Any kit gun. Maybe I'll pick any kit gun. Neil and Comac are some of the worst guns. Let me see the Comac anyway. What am I talking about? Comac isn't good. This doesn't even have a forma. This kit gun. Neither this, none of them are good. Let's see the Comac. Nope, no form on that one either. I guess I thought that was shit weapon as well. For the love of God. Well, the kit gun seems to be a little bit stronger. Let's look at the Neo. 150. Fire rate. What about this kit gun? Comac. Jesus, the Comac is so terrible. Total damage 30. By the gods. 71. Man, I'm getting pissed off. Like, who thought this is a good idea to give you nothing but shit weapons and then, hey, go play the hardest game. I mean, that I guess that's the point. That's the point of the challenge. It's not a true challenge if you're not using shit weapons to do the extremely hard enemies. Let's throw you into the ring with extremely hard enemies with a butter knife. If you're such a badass, you'd be able to kill them with a butter knife. That's what this is. Fine. Okay. Man, I don't even feel like I want the reward. Screw all phases. I'll be happy if I just get one. I'm using nothing but shit weapons. About the only person that's a good weapon is Frost himself. I'd be surprised if I even make it past this first one. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. That's what this is? This is deflection, or I forgot what it's called. Let's screw this weapon. Kiss my ass. Revive. Okay, get up. Fuck it. Comb. Where are you? You sons of bitches. You gotta be kidding me. What the hell? Why am I running sideways? Oh, for Christ's sake. It's a bug. Man, come on. Digital Extremes. If you're gonna build a hard-ass freaking mission and shit, you should at least get your freaking... Get up. Oh yeah, I think he does only 2 revives. It's either a bug or the host internet is acting up. My internet is running fine. See what I'm saying though, man? They're like... Wait a minute, what the fuck? How is this dude using Atlas? Atlas isn't part of the equation. Oh no, it's not Atlas. He's using the subsume power of Atlas. So there has to be like 8 conduits? Hold on. Someone went down. Okay. Fuck. The hell? This another one. There he is. There's two of them. Where's that sun's? Need two more. There's two more. That's all that's left. The weapons are shitty, but the Warframe is the one doing all the work. Like, how often do people use the Comac anyway? Like, like hardly ever. The best part about subsumed powers is that you could give it to anyone. Like, someone put Gara's power, subsumed power, on one of the Warframes, either on Daggett, Frost, or someone else. Well, what's this? Mobile defense? Or is it... survival? Okay. It is survival. Okay. and Volker are doing shit for damage. Well, surprise, surprise. And who is the reason for that happening? The warframes, not the weapons. Subsume power is more like it. And that was the Archimedean. Why is it so difficult? Oh, no reason why. The whole part of the challenge is to use shit weapons and whatever warframe you have with subsume powers and possibly survive against level 200 plus enemies. So I knew Frost could do the job, but I wasn't sure if whoever I was playing with Frost is going to do the job. For instance, someone had Garrus powers and someone had Atlas powers. So it was either the Daggett in the party or the Zephyr in the party who had Garrus powers. So one of them had Garrus powers and one of them had Atlas powers. I don't know what Atlas was actually doing. I mean, I would say that that was the good choice based on that Warframe, but for armor, yes. For crowd control, no. I think the Gara was doing most of the work. Me and the Gara, anyway. Me for reducing the enemy's armor, and Gara's for just killing them with his shard attacks. Because Atlas, I believe Frost's whole thing is the more you increase his cold ability, his snow globe ability, or should I say the more you increase his ice ability, the more armor reduction the enemy receives. Because the colder they are, the more brittle they are, the more, or should I say their entire armor, or not even their armor, their flesh and their shields are frozen. So it's like you're breaking ice. But if that ice is like rock hard, it's hard to break through them. So I guess the more armor, or should I say the stronger your armor is, the stronger ice can penetrate all the way down to their flesh. You don't have to worry about shooting through the hard armor, because if you're able to freeze the entire armor completely, it's pretty much a done deal. So he has 152 armor reduction for all enemies, and explosion radius is 7.2. So once an enemy is destroyed upon using the fourth ability in their shatter, the explosion is a 7.2 radius or meter shatter. So any enemy within that explosion gets a damage of 1,000 damage, which is not that much of anything if you think about it. If an enemy has 10,000 health, you know, it's just they just take 1,000 damage. So, but it helps to have an armor reduction that exceeds 100 anyway. So they were pretty much done. I mean, if they had armor, all the enemies had armor of 100% or 100% plus, then the only thing I needed to take care of or worry about was their health. So Frost does most of the work, or should I say Gara's powers did most of the work, and Frost did most of the reduction of their armor. Hardest part was to use the shit weapon. So now I'm gonna exit this, and like if you've never used a Frost, that's how you use Frost. His sole purpose is not so much to kill the enemy. His sole purpose is mostly to reduce their armor, and if he's strong enough, they'll die. If his power strength is strong enough, it'll kill them. But if his power strength is not strong enough, at least his secondary, which is the armor reduction, will allow them, the enemy, armor to drop down to about 50% if they have lots of armor, and that way you have half a chance in order to succeed. Or if their armor is not 100%, let's say 80%, it's dropped down below, it's dropped about 25%. So won't take much for you to shoot through their armor to kill them. Like if I reduce any enemy's armor past 100, it's dangerous ground for them. If their armor is like 300 or 500 armor, I would have to use the fourth ability like 4 times. But most of the times when you're shooting an enemy, you're getting past the armor slowly. So you probably only have to use the fourth ability like 2 times, and then your weapon would do the rest. At least that's how it was.
Always with the
But
system
for
needs you.
extremely strong enemies like necromechs, you have to like at least do it 2 or 3 times, or not even 4 times, to get past that 500 plus armor or 1,000 plus armor. That's if you're in a team. Speaking of which, what is the necromech's armor? Let me look it up. Necromech's armor. Oh, my computer's acting up. I forget it. I'm not.
All set. Service your weapons myself.
Yeah, I believe Daggett was doing all the heavy lifting in that mission. If he wasn't, then it was a combination of both Atlas, me, and Daggett together. Because Atlas, I remember he has that ability, which allows to turn enemies to stun, which is reduce their armor to a certain amount. So there was 2 armor reducing enemies, or armor reducing warframes in party. And maybe Gara's powers was also armor reduction. I know it is. Says when some of the shard glass gets onto the enemies, they're kind of frozen, but not really. It just makes them slow and make their armor brittle, so they're easy to break. So actually three of us were doing good armor reductions. So yeah, the weapons were shitty, but at least the warframes were good.
understand Pazul, to understand his Narmer. You know these vaults. Get in. Find what you can.
Oh, Natar. I am no mere cipher to be cracked. Come to me in humility.
Like, if you ever want to like beat really super strong enemies, the only true way to do so, like level 200 to level 300 enemies, the only way to do so is to subsume a powers that's capable of dealing with the threat. Otherwise, if you're using an original Warframe's powers, it might not work out to your advantage. Because that's what happened in that mission. There was Daggett, and there was Zephyr, and there's no way Daggett and Zephyr were going to survive that if some of their powers weren't subsumed. Maybe Daggett a little, but I know Zephyr probably wouldn't. Because his crowd control ability just spins enemies around. It doesn't really kill them. Unless you're putting toxic effect onto that spinning tornado. But once again, his ability, that fourth ability, it actually travels and look for enemies rather than attack the enemies you wanna attack. So it's an active power, but it randomizes and attacks who it wants to, which is no good.
Tenno, I'm truly sorry for everything. I saw the truth far too late. She will never forgive me. Won't you?
Unwell. I will burn the sickness out of him if I have to.
Oh well.
Sometimes Ordis likes to assume he knows nothing. Nobody can learn what they think they already know. If I may say, Operator, your chosen Warframe suits you. Ha, ha.
So I might call it a day on this, since it's going wild. Yep, internet is going pretty wild, so I might call it a day on this. I'll finish the rest of the Archimedean, I mean not the Archimedean, rest of the Archon missions on my own.